Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frappes in Frequency. If you've been hanging with me for a bit, welcome back. And if you're brand new to the space, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, open invitation to grab your favorite beverage, to take some deep breaths, and tune into whatever's going on in the energy. So, before we do that, though, I just wanted to say that this is going to be a reflection on the energy for August of 2026. Yes, I'm a bit late in the intake. Uh, when I did try to record this, it just didn't go down too well. So, um, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I generally don't do anything predictive in this space anyway. Well, that's the intention. That is because energy is fluid and it changes all the time. So, um, what else do I need to say to you about August? Oh, so the card for August, because in December of 2025, I pulled a whole bunch of cards, one for each month of the year. And this one, or the card for August, is recycle, recover, which in and of itself is a bit of an interesting card to me. It's from the deck called Sign of the Times by Crystal Banner. So, there's a lot of things going on there where we can speak to things that are returning, being recycled, because if you're listening on the podcast, the card itself has a eco bag on it with the recycle symbol on the front, but at the top of it it says hello again, as if to say hello, it's been a while. So there's a few things going on. The number 3 I feel is significant. Could be 3 people, could be 3 ideas, 3 life compartments, if you will. It could also speak to a time, like a day, a date, or a month. I don't know. It's going to look different for everybody. I'm getting 3 minutes as well, so that's a bit interesting. But yeah, I will say this is the second time I'm recording this, because the first time my husband butt dialed me while I was trying to record. So you could, as I said, I don't really lean into predictive types of things, but this could be in relation to a phone call, receiving a phone call out of the blue, unexpected. I don't know. It's going to land differently for different people. Uh, but yeah, how about we settle down a little bit, take some deep breaths, resource yourself. So if you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to grab a drink, if you need to just get comfortable, right? Get comfortable. And let's take some deep breaths. The energy is very interesting. I will say that. It's like, it feels like it's like I'm being put to sleep. Like that's what it feels like. Like it's time to go to bed. Like I almost want to sing the bedtime songs, even though I don't know any bedtime songs. But it's feeling like that. So I don't know what that is indicative of. But let's take a couple of deep breaths and just go with it. Just fully lean into whatever is trying to present itself here. So, however you want to take those deep breaths is completely up to you. I generally breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. And when you're ready, and only if you're ready, slowly opening up the eyes if it is shut. If you want to stay here, that is okay too, because the feeling of what is being sensed or felt anyway is what it says on the card, recover, right? It's this feeling of recovery of sorts. And I will speak to this in a minute, but it's very internally, it's very slow. And I mean, hearing the word innocuous, I don't know, or being pulled to the word innocuous, I'm not sure why, but the feeling is this very flowy, fluid vibe, almost as if to say that either you are in a space currently where you're really leaning into, let's just call it the divine feminine energy or feminine energy, where you're relying on slowing down or nurturing yourself or even nurturing others, where you're in a space of reflection, contemplation. Slowing down is the vibe that is being sensed. And as I'm saying this, there is a pain in the right hip or the right lower back. Um, there's a subtlety on the right, on the left as well, but the right is definitely overpowering it. So I don't know if this is in relation to this. Maybe whatever returning energy is that this vibe of overpowering, and generally, or let's just say in terms of, how does this want to be said? Just referring to energy and the body, it's on the right hand side, which suggests a masculine energy. That doesn't necessarily mean that's a masculine, right? It doesn't mean it's a male person. It could, but it could also be a female who's very much in her masculine, or a leader or boss or some type of yeah, the word's not coming through. Interesting. Like a leadership person, someone in leadership, or someone with, let's just say power. I'll just say the word power, but how does this, yeah, it's kind of struggling to come through, as if it doesn't want to be represented or doesn't want to be spoken about. Like a subtle awareness of like power, overpowering, I should say. But the vibe is definitely internal, like as in focuses in on the internal. Like there's a fluidity, there's a softness, there's a very nurturing, slow, receptive vibe. So this is, let's just say for the purpose of this video, like there's a leaning into the divine feminine or the feminine energy, which is nurturing, softer, leaning into intuition, that sort of thing. That might be where you're at right now. So what is feeling like is being represented here is like, if something does return, if something or someone does pop in and go, hello, like blah blah blah, long time no see, and I want to say a long time no see, chica. So I don't know if you're Latino or whatever. Um, but yeah, it's giving that vibe of a I can't even get the words out, a return of sorts, like a repetitive, even stuttery type of energy where it's so yeah, there's a, like I said, there's an emphasis on the internal landscape, to be aware of how you're feeling internally or what is happening internally. like trust the vibes kind of thing. Trust your intuition, lean into the divine feminine. What the hell? Okay, I'm trying to write divine feminine, and I wrote diving tennis. Diving tennis. I don't know. Divine feminine. Maybe that is something you do or used to do or even want to do to um, recalibrate. I'm hearing. Recalibrate. Okay, well, let's get into the cards. Let's see what else gets picked up, what we can speak to. If for whatever reason you were drawn to this video and it's not August, then there's definitely something here for you. As I said, the intention is not to have this be a predictive space. It's more a space that speaks to energy as it's coming through at it, in the moment. There's not a need to explain that for some reason. I just saw King of Swords, but it didn't come through that way. It came through like King of Words. King of Words. Which, the King of Swords can also represent this individual or energy of someone that is really good at talking, at speaking, presenting information in a very logical way that makes sense. Like a very not intuitive, but for some reason that word wanted to be said. A intellectual is what one was wanting to be said. What is up with this energy? My God, it's like I can't even get the words out. It's when you're very sleepy, you're very tired, and the body is just like, oh, like it's this lethargic vibe, but it's not. It's not like how do I explain this? It's not like that uncontrollable need to sleep. It's a very flowy. I feel like I'm like I'm like a reed in the wind, just like flowing. That's how it's feeling. Like that's like this energetic, flowing vibe internally. Maybe because when I tried to do this video before hubby's butt dial, I was speaking about healing. Perhaps if this is in relation to this returning person, you've already healed from it, or there was a process of healing, or maybe you are in a process of healing, and this person is just like, oh, hey, I fucked shit up royally, but here I am back again to try to do the same thing. I don't know, it's just coming out this way. It might not be relevant for everybody, but that pain in the right hand lower back is it's getting more intense now. Give me a second. I'm just gonna pop a crystal on that because it's what it's doing is it's distracting. It's quite distracting. This is like one of the few crystals that I actually use. I forget what it's called, but it starts with a P, and it actually works. And I'm very skeptical about stuff like that, but it helps with pain. I need to find out what it's called. Not pyrite. I don't know what it is. Anyway, the pain is distracting. It's trying to throw me off guard, so to speak. So there's definitely a need to be aware of that energy, like how it's coming through is like this very flowy, like not that energy, but there's like this flow in your vibe, in your demeanor, like there's this healing frequency, and then next minute there's this mm, I don't know how else to how else to express that, but it's like that, I'm sure there are people that know exactly what I'm talking about. When you've healed from something, either traumatic, or you've healed from a relationship or partnership or friendship, and things are fucking good, like you're good. A little bit of that song is coming through with okay, there's two songs that I'll speak to. Okay, so the first song I will speak to is when I recorded this the first time. It was only like 15 minutes I got, and it's interesting because it's 16 minutes now. So it was Poison by Belle DeVoe. So it's like, that girl is poison. Oh, fuck it. You can look it up. My singing is awful. So there was that. And now it's good. Is it good for me or good with me or something to that effect? Kaylani and Zed. That's the song that was coming through just then. So I will Poison Bulb of DeVoe. Interesting, because I didn't actually write that the first time, so that definitely wanted to come through again. And then Good with Me. I love that song. Yeah, so everything's good with you. You're chilled, you're vibing, you're in your flow, you're healing, you're doing the shadow work, the self-care, the whatnot, and then in comes this motherfucker wanting to flip shit upside down for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. This could be also an aspect of you, right? An aspect of your ego. Because that happens when you're healing, when you're detaching from, you're declustering, interesting, detaching from or detangling from programming, conditioning that tells you what to believe or how to believe, or whatever, right? Whatever you're detaching yourself from, it's like the ego doesn't like that. The ego does not like when you identify parts of yourself. So that is what the shadow, quote unquote, shadow is parts of us that are unseen, parts of us that we also don't want to see and don't want to work through. Like if someone tells you you're highly critical or you're highly judgmental, and you're like, no, I'm not. Like you don't want to hear it. You just, go through life thinking that you're completely perfect and nothing's wrong with you, which is false on every level. But I'm just speaking to what's coming. Look, I'm just speaking as it's coming through. So if I say something that offends you, then that is something that you need to sit through, because this is coming through in real time. Weird. What is going on with this energy? I'm telling you now, it's bizarre. Yeah, ego doesn't like that. Ego does not like you working through your shit, essentially. Right? The mind doesn't like when you are stepping into your true self. Wild. Wild. So that could be this returning energy, because that's what happens when you're on a self development journey. and we've not addressed our shadows, so to speak, or we've not addressed aspects of ourselves that actually, we could represent ourselves or express ourselves in a different way, or in a way that is aligned with self or God or source, however you want to phrase that. um like, stuff just happens, things happen in life to almost test you, to say, okay, have you really healed from that? Are you good? You're good if I bring this thing back into your life, or represent this problem that has been a problem for a while. So for some, it might actually be like a recurring theme. Some things that are happening, like it's recurring, right? Like, this is another aspect of the symbol. It's just like on repeat, on repeat. And it's like, okay, are you finally going to deal with this? Have you finally moved on? Are you actually healed? About 20 minutes in and not a single freaking card except for the main one. This may be also to do with 3 people, right? I don't know why I heard love triangle. I don't know. Oh, and then 3 cards fall out. Let's see. What have we got? 4, 5. I was going to say, I don't know the order in which they fell out. I just flipped it over. But the cards are 3, between worlds. So 3 is interesting here. 4 is higher power. And 5 is orphaned. Yeah. Interesting. I feel this is the way. Actually, I think this is the way it did. Anyway, this is the way it's seeming to represent itself. So you're in between these 2 worlds of possibly feeling orphaned, abandoned, neglected. And then on the flip side, you are stepping into this divine feminine energy. On the flip side of it, though, this orphaned card. So this seems like a progression, 3, 4, 5. There's this stepping through this progression. And like the way, the way I had it was, how did I have it? I had it with the orphaned on the darker aspect of the between worlds card, and then the higher power on the brighter aspect. I'm getting a slight pain in the head as I'm saying this. I feel like this overthinking vibe. But this could also be represented in the actual, I want to say, chronological order, like 3, 4, and then 5. So between worlds first, we're navigating and traversing, um, moving through different worlds. And it's not to say you're literally moving through different worlds. It could just mean you are leaving behind certain aspects, certain parts of yourself, certain, in the material world, leaving things behind, moving to a different country, whatever that looks like for you. And then what's next? This really stepping into, because it does look like that, right? This flamingo is stepping into a different energy, a brighter energy. This flamingo at the front has this crown on its head. And there seems to be some celebration happening because there's streamers and such. And then, so meeting yourself, you're meeting this divine aspect, this divinity, this higher power. But at the same time, there might be some confusion with this orphaned, because I've said it so many times in this space that it can be a very challenging process meeting your true self. And I don't mean a physical form. I mean going within, connecting with who it is that you really are, it can be fucking lonely. Okay, fucking lonely. That's how some people perceive it, but I'll just speak to my own experience just for anecdotal purpose. What was perceived as loneliness is now peace. Like it feels like peace. Like I'm gonna say it in this way because this is how it's coming, like presenting itself. It's not necessarily indicative of my personal experience, although in certain ways it is. But oh, where did that go? Right. Um, some things just can't join you on your journey, or some people can't join you on your journey because they're not at that. And I'm not saying this to posture. I'm just saying that in terms of frequency, it's not at the same frequency, so it can't move with you, right? It's like if your frequency is up here and this other thing or whatever it is, the frequency is down here and it's not coming up to meet you where you're at, it's going to stay there and you could possibly keep moving up and this energy is still, it's kind of like a graph, right? It's going here, maybe up, down, up, down, up, down, and you're just continuing on this slow path of upwardness. I hope this is making sense, but this is just whatever's being sensed here. So, yeah, if that is the case, if you are noticing and recognizing, oh shit, like I'm not spending time with my friends as much or family as much, or um, why am I losing friends, or like we tend to almost blame ourselves. Like just even looking at this card, we tend to what I'm getting from that image with, I don't actually know what that is on her face, might be a mask of some sort. And I'm hearing that quote, cutting off your nose to spite your face, something to that effect. This is not the be all end all, right? This is just part of the process. So if this is happening for you where it's feeling like a very lonely road, it's not always going to feel that way. It is not always going to feel that way. It is actually a very liberating feeling when you realize that there's a higher purpose to it all. Like it's not doom and gloom. And not to blame yourself either if that's the position you're finding yourself in. Not to blame yourself, not to allow people to blame you either. I mean, in certain circumstances, you could technically be a cause, like be the problem, like that Taylor Swift song. Um, but there is a need to really feel into your, like I said at the start, what is happening internally. I'm getting a strong sense that this is a very internal process, and this makes sense with these cards here. So I'm just going to put this aside and get some more. What is the challenge here? Even though it seems we're already kind of feeling into it. Okay. And what's the insight? Okay. So we've got exchanging gifts. Card 27. And fork in the road, card 13. Why are they exchanging gifts? Why is that in the knot? Fork in the road makes sense, being in between spaces. Like there's a lot of focus There is focus. I'm getting the bottom card here, the fates. I'm getting focusing on, or that there is a fork in the road, or there's a lot to be said about being in the middle ground, being in between two spaces, even maybe the liminal space. But with exchanging gifts, I just pulled another card and I got the fates. That is a very curious energy to me. Exchanging gifts and the challenge. Well, whatever this is talking about exchanging gifts, it might not be literal gifts, obviously. It doesn't feel like it. It's feeling like, I mean, it could speak to talents or skills. Maybe you're um, trading one skill for another, or if this is to do with work, you're swapping like roles or something. But this is to be this is going to happen either way. It's fated. It's all fate. This is my personal opinion, obviously, but we do not have control as much as we like to pretend we do. We don't. The sun comes up on its own. It sets on its own. The moon comes up on its own. We do not control that, right? We like to think we have control of circumstances, but we don't, and that in itself can put people on a spiral. But this exchanging gifts is very, you know what? I am going to read that, but I'm going to read it in the challenge because I'm finding that card. It's like, how do I explain it? It's almost like a block. So the fact that it's coming up in the not like the things that are challenging us about the situation is very interesting. Um, so essential meanings says the law of giving and receiving, currency trade-offs, weighing costs, determining value. Let's just read the. Is there a challenge? Okay, I'll just read it says protection message, so I'll read that. Be careful what you pray for because you might just get it, and then realize you don't want to face the hefty price tag that comes with it. You may find yourself in a situation you've always desired, but know you will have to walk away from or even fail at it because you can't or won't pay the dues it asks of you. If you want to be a famous musician, you have to practice your craft every day. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to be responsible for managing the money and paying the taxes. Even a windfall bears a cost. It's okay though, because Spirit will help you achieve balance over time. Another message here reminds you that being only the giver and not the receiver plays out in many relationships in your life, where you find yourself in victim mode, in a codependent dynamic, or holding on to a false sense of control. Dun, dun, dun. Others may push you to continue to prove yourself. The time has come to distance yourself from this kind of imbalance. Being aware of the need for both give and take is the first step to your true destiny. It's all good and getting better. Not only can you handle this, but you can flourish as a result of it. Yeah, I'm just being reminded again of that feminine energy, that very flowy vibe. Like I feel that's the vibe you're in right now, of just trusting life, trusting source and God, and then you get the spanner in the works, and it's like, yeah, I'm actually good. I am good. I've got this. Even though you feel there's a feeling, or you know, maybe for like momentarily or for a brief moment, there's this confusion when this happens, right? But leaning into the other aspect of the card that talks about recovery, continue that. Continue the path that you're on. Because even if this thing resurfaces and comes back in, whether that is something external to you, whether that's your mind, like an old mindset or old belief system that you once had, the more you're able to tune into your now experience, your that very flowy divine feminine or feminine energy that which is feeling very receptive. Remember I said, like, I feel like I'm being moved in the wind, right? Like that's what it feels like. Trust that that is your safe space, that is the place where you ground yourself, that feeling of I'm going with the flow. And it's not like this is a mental train of thought of I'm going with the flow, I'm going with the flow, I'm going. It's more like you feel it, it's been felt, it's embodied. But then whatever's this resurfacing could be a confusion about it, maybe a confusion about going through this process of feeling orphaned, even though the whole idea is, and I don't know why it's being said that way, but the purpose is to feel more connection to the divine, or to feel connection to all that is. But for some reason, it's feeling confusing. But also, do not, interesting how this is coming through, do not allow that idea or that belief to incapacitate you and to pull you off course. I feel like this has been a vibe for a little while. A lot of people are shifting, and it can be very confusing. Very confusing, especially if you're feeling alone in it. And you're not. You are not alone. We are not alone. You never are, you never were. But the ego, the mind, can make you feel that way. Like, oh shit, I don't hang out with that group of friends anymore. That's okay. Everybody goes through their processes. They go through life. Things don't resonate anymore. There's that quote. I feel like I've said it so many times in this space. People come into your life for a reason, a lifetime, or a season. They, we learn through relationships. We learn through partnerships and friendships, and it's all relational. So, people come into our lives to teach us more about ourselves, because there's aspects of them that are within us, and vice versa. We're all one, right? So if we're not acknowledging and recognizing, oh my gosh, that's a thing that I do, based on the fact that it's within somebody else and it triggers us, it's like, oh shit, I actually do that and I didn't recognize it before. I don't know where that's going, but anywho. Right, so insight that's already available to us. So we've been gabbering on, I say we, but I, for 38 minutes, and I've only pulled out cards from one deck, but whatever. The insight that's available to us says deep knowing, card 43, and chop wood, card 42. So there is some sort of process happening here, it feels like. Chop wood, it just talks about being here now, being with the mundane, exploring, or not even exploring, because that's indicative of doing. It's more about just being with everything, being with life as it is, because we don't have control of it. I said that before, and one of the cards mentioned it. We're coming to this deep knowing, or we are in this deep knowing, or that's already available to us, this information, that we have no control, and to just get on with it. Just to, and when I say get on with it, I mean to really rest in that state of being shown the way, being guided. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it's coming through. Let's pull some more cards. Let's get out another deck. I hope this is making sense, you guys. The overarching message here is just to trust, to be in that feminine energy, to recover, to I guess in a way leaning into self-care, self-preservation, self-attention. Okay. If any other songs want to come through, they're also welcome. Okay, let's get one for each pile, shall we? Not. Okay, seems to be like and I'll be very curious to see if the third one is also a chamber card. There seems to be almost a vibe of really protecting yourself from the outside, and maybe you're doing that by being a recluse or actually stepping away from certain things, like actually recovering, like, okay, so we've got Chamber of Innocence, so this feels like just trusting the process, leaning into a feeling of being led, re-led, if you will. I do apologize for all the noise. Maybe children are significant as well here, or whatever you're navigating right now is inner child healing. As I say that, my children are rocking the foot up. Inner child healing. You might be going through a process of inner child healing, and that is what is creating the shift. And then we have literally the Chamber of Healing. So this is in the knot. This is this process that you're going through to like strip away. Just strip away from all the bullshit. Or strip away from that which is not you. And then we've got the golden thread. I almost feel like I want to read this one. I do apologize. That's really loud. I'm going to give someone a little frickin' talking to when I'm done here. But life, guys, life. Like, trying not to control circumstances because you don't have control. Like, just run with it. Like, literally, the only time I get to record these is on a Sunday. And so there's been many times when I'm like, oh, just, hubby doesn't take them shopping or whatever. So they're at home and it's just like, this is just the situation. This is the only time you can do it. So just do it. Like, Okay, let's see. No, that's not the one I wanted. Sorry. The golden thread. Okay. I'm gonna skip some of the stuff because I don't really resonate with this, and I don't know if it'll resonate with the people that follow this space. The golden thread is the path of your destiny. The golden thread holds the potential of all that was, is, and could be. The golden thread of your life is always available to guide you every step of the way toward your soul's deepest dream. By the way, this where this card is sitting is in the insight that's already available to you. The golden thread is woven throughout your life experiences. It doesn't always make sense, but with time and perspective, you can see its intricate weavings glistening back at you at the center of your life. It's never too late to follow the golden thread of your life, and you can never be too old, for the golden thread of your life is always within your reach. Whatever your calling is calling you to, whatever your soul is calling you to do will lead you to your golden thread. Wherever you most feel connected with the great spirit of life is where you'll find your golden. I just feel like I'm repeating myself now. Yeah. All right, let's get some more. So yeah, like I said, just continue on this path of healing. If you're on a path of healing or self-attention, self-attentiveness, self-inquiry, continue that irrespective. Like, do not allow yourself to get distracted. Literally, I'm being very distracted right now. The kids are losing their fucking minds. So there's a call to say, stay the fucking course. Stay grounded. It's the only thing that you can, quote unquote, control is how you react to situations. I feel like I say this all the time, but it's so true. Perfect example. And, I don't bring a lot of like the stuff on the outside world in here, but actually, should I or shouldn't I? I don't know. No, it's fine. It's not important. I feel like you get the gist. Like, when shit is going on around you, it's okay to have that heightened, like, when you feel like you're about to snap and you feel like you're about to pop off, you can feel that. Like, it's like a build up, right? The important thing to remember here is just to come back, come back home, come back home and recover. Very important. And I don't know why I'm seeing a vision of Mr. Miyagi in my head. As I was saying, very important. I don't know what that's about. Like, the sage is telling me or saying, he was always talking about inner peace, inner tranquility, right? He was always saying that the way through or the way out, quote unquote, out of something is through. So that requires you to be still. And I don't mean physically still, I mean internally calm within. Because I'm telling you, the energy is ramping up, guys. It is ramping up. First card I see is water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Right? And in Australia, which is where I am right now, it is literal autumn. Oh, interesting. I meant to say it was winter. Autumn. Why? Oh, it's the August. I was like, why is autumn feel? It's the August, autumn, or AU. AU. Hello again. Whatever. Yeah, it's literally winter right now. So this is like hibernation, taking care of yourself, recovering from whatever. And sometimes it's also important to say, well, it is also important to say that sometimes whatever we're recovering from, other people might not understand, because when we say we're recovering, it sort of implies like we're healing or taking care of ourselves from something quite traumatic or something quite intense. It doesn't always show up that way, right? It could just be a mindset or a way of behaving, like a way that we behave, like we're super reactive, or we think we have a mindset that everyone's against, like like playing the victim or something. I'm not sure why it's coming through like this, but whatever. It's not always this massive thing to overcome. Like sometimes things play out differently for everybody. Well, it does play out differently for everybody. The card is Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. And there's definitely something about 3 here. Well, wisdom's not really ever lost. Great. It's always available to you. Well, it never really goes away. Self-awareness is always there. Let's see if I can pick this up with my toes. A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. That's exactly what I said. Just stay the course. Things are changing, but the thing is, in order for things to change external to us, we need to create change or invest in change within. This is the only way out, is to heal ourselves. I've been saying this shit for years. Like, we cannot, and I say this to, the kids I work with, we can't change what someone says, or what someone does. All we can change is how we feel about it or how we react to it. Star Brothers, Horus. This is the second time this card's come out, so I'm going to speak to it. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. So this is divine masculine energy. So it is about balance, right? I will pull a card, a tarot as well, before we finish up. Because I feel like that was pretty self-explanatory. Like, just stay focused and really lean into mundane, I suppose, the mundane, the Hanged Man. This is perspective, seeing things from a new perspective. Let's get one more. Oh, where did that card go? Seeing things from a new perspective. But also the Hanged Man can also represent just taking time out to, how does that want to be said? Letting go of things, trusting, surrender. What is this? The five of chalices, but it's in the reverse. Is it 5 or 6? VFVI 6. 6 of chalices. 6 of chalices. Ooh. This is nostalgic energy. This is the episode. Sorry, this is my Buffy tarot deck, which I absolutely love, and I've just finished the entire series again of Buffy. I haven't watched it in years, and I've finally finished it. So this is the episode where the adults eat this like spelled candy or chocolate or something, and then all the adults turn into children. So this is, perhaps there's a strong emphasis here on inner child work. Inner child work, Six of Chances. Yeah, very much so. Sorry. Yeah. So all the adults turn into, not turn into, they're still themselves, but they're presenting with very childlike energy, like teenagers. You can see Giles and Joyce here. Is it Joyce? Yeah. Like dressing like teenagers, acting like teenagers, smoking, drinking, like um, you know, uh, just being very, like, presenting with very childlike energy and running amok and so forth. So yeah, I mean, Six of Cups is generally, it can speak to the past, it can speak to nostalgia as well. Um, but yeah, the it's showing up in the reverse is also indicative of letting go of the past, like releasing the past, or maybe there's an aspect that requires forgiveness, whether it's this hello again person coming back for another round, or aspect within yourself, or and also an investigation of what forgiveness looks like to you, right? Because for me, it's not necessarily saying I forgive you. It's acknowledging that, you know that that really sucked what you did. Um or or if you're forgiving yourself, it's not like, we're human, we make mistakes, it happens, right? Move on. Let's work on ourselves and try to be better next time, type of thing. So yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but that is the vibe for August. Let me know in the comments if there's an old energy returning, or old mindset, or something that is trying to throw you off course. But the actual message is just to stay the course, even if you feel like you're. Um, I don't get a strong sense that it's, although it could be for some, like I said, with my kids, it's more like, it's not necessarily to throw you off course. I don't feel like it's something that will throw you off course. It's more like a test of sorts, or like a check-in to go, so how are we going? Are we able to regulate when this shit comes back around? Are we able to regulate when this thing happens? Are we properly invested in our healing journey? Something to that effect, right? Deep breaths, everybody. Deep, 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 deep breaths. I do feel like this is, yeah, I don't feel like this is a omen of sorts. Like some people might see it that way, or there's something coming back. It's going to happen all the time. Things are going to come back into our lives to make sure that we fully move, like learned our lesson. We fully moved on from that train of thought or that experience. So just yeah, make sure you stay calm. Just stay calm. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me, for putting up with the noise, the raucous. But like I said, real time nervous system regulation. Take some deep, damn breaths. Check in on yourself, check in with yourself, rather. And make sure that you're doing things to bring, like, protect your peace. Protect your peace, okay? That's what I will leave you with. Take care of yourselves. Let us know in the comments if this made sense or resonated with you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.